Happy March, everybody. This is Aurora with the first waivers update for March. So March is going to be exciting. I gave a little recap about January and February. These were months of preparation. These were months of also learning to kind of stabilize with the new energies that have been coming in with the age of Aquarius, and for the first time in 16 years, not having any planets in Capricorn. So we've been adjusting, we've been stabilizing, integrating, and also just a little bit in preparation. Now, March is where the energy is going to start to build. April is a huge month, which I will be, of course, covering later on. But April is kind of what we would call like the apex month, or like this pivotal turning point in the Ascension events for 2024. It is going to be a choice point month for humanity that will determine some of the unfoldments for the rest of the year. And April is also going to be what the galactics are sharing, is where many of us, well, everyone will be receiving their new mission assignments, okay, their new soul contracts. Basically, everything we've done up until this point was to get us to where we are now, and a lot of us are going to be stepping into new roles, and that's different for everybody. So the first thing is to never compare yourself to anybody else on this ascension journey. We are all exactly where we're supposed to be at exactly the right time. And we have to trust that and know that. So don't compare yourself to what anybody else is doing. We are all holding down different positions as the ground crew here. We are all working on different things. We have different roles. We have different focuses. So trust and know that you are in the position that you are meant to be in. You are doing exactly what you are destined to do. So trust that process, but we will be receiving kind of these new roles and new mission assignments in April. So March is what the galactics are calling the training month. So we are basically training for those new roles that we're going to be stepping into. And again, training looks different for everybody because we're not training for the same roles. We're training for different roles. But what I did want to share was basically to feel into whatever you've mastered up until this point. And you could be brand new on the journey, okay? And that's okay too. But basically anything in your life that you have mastered up until this point. This could be you've mastered your current job. You've mastered, taking care of your health. You've mastered self-love. We all have different skills and experiences. So anything that we've basically mastered up until this point, meaning we feel comfortable in that space, we feel good, we've got it down packed, that's going to assist you for this next role. But part of that is we need to start moving outside of our comfort zones, okay? So March is going to be a little bit like that. It's a training on getting comfortable being uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be painful, okay? Because I know sometimes we hear the word uncomfortable and it's like, oh no, I don't want to be uncomfortable. But discomfort can also be when we're trying new things for the first time, right? Or when we're doing something new, we're having a new experience, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It could be fun. It could be exciting. It could be beautiful. We're just not used to it. So it's a month of surprises. It's a month of, again, learning to move into the place where you are willing to try new things, whether that's physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. You are moving into the phase where you're like, okay, I'm open to learning something new. I'm open to having new experiences that I haven't had before. And being able to stay in the heart and stay centered through that. And also being open to welcoming the surprises, the synchronistic events, the miracles. We have to be open to that as well. And so I think that this is a month where, again, we're all going to be training for different roles, but overall, we're all learning how to be open to the new, how to be comfortable being a little bit uncomfortable, and how to navigate the unknown, which is really, you got to be in the present moment of now, right? But so this is a training month. Now the astrology of this month is also really interesting. I'm just going to point out two really key dates. So the first key date is going to be the new moon in Pisces on March 10th. This is going to be very, very interesting because for those of you that are fans of The Gene Keys by Richard Rudd, we love his work. And it's really insightful into giving us just another layer of understanding of kind of the energies, right? So the new moon in Pisces on March 10th is going to be occurring in Gene Key 22, which is a very profound gene key in the Gene Key book. And it's about transcending suffering through grace. And he specifically talks about the Divine Mother and how her unconditional love is what basically cleanses us of karma, of suffering, and just not honoring ourselves, right? Or just not being able to really be our true selves. And so it's a big cleansing energy. But the 22nd gene key is also what opens up the 7 seals of consciousness. Now, many of you will, understand the reference to the 7 seals in the Bible, which Richard Rudd does touch upon. But he basically says that, in the Bible, in Revelations, right, the 7 seals it's an allegory. So in Revelations, it's the 7 stages of what they call the apocalypse. We're not doing apocalypse, okay? That's not what this is. But this gene key does open up the 7 seals of consciousness, which is basically what Richard Rudd says is instead of the apocalypse, it's the 7 stages of the mass awakening. It's the 7 stages of moving through the awakening process and going through, the ascension, right? And so that's a very big day that will be opening up the 7 seals and is also just going to be, I feel, a really profound, a very healing, a very beautiful, magical new moon, okay? And we are going to be actually doing this month's etheric surgery seminar during that week. We're going to start on March 9th, so the day before the new moon begins. It is a week-long process for those who have not done the etheric surgery. But this month, Mom in the Galactic said that the etheric surgery seminar is actually going to be a retreat. We've been doing some very deep work over the past year with these etheric surgery seminars as a group. So we've done a ton of really deep diving into transformation, into purging, into releasing. For those who have joined us in that journey, thank you. They've been profound. We've had so many breakthroughs, but it was intense. We were doing a lot of intense inner work. So this month, it will be the same protocols as all other etheric surgeries, meaning it is a etheric body and energy body detox. It is to cleanse the auric field. It is to cleanse the etheric body, to basically clear anything out that shouldn't be there, right? Any dense energy, any inorganic materials, any implants, so that we have a clear, centered, grounded field where we can be in the heart, we can anchor in the higher self, and it, speeds up our ability to process, transmute, etc. But this month is going to be the etheric surgery retreat. So it is not going to be designed to do the intense kind of clearing and work that we have done for over a year now. This is a rejuvenation of sorts. So they kept saying to me, like, think etheric spa. Okay, etheric spa. So it's going to be the week-long etheric surgery retreat, and it's going to be basically all about rejuvenation. Our bodies have been through a lot. We have been through a lot, and this is a week we're going to be focusing mainly on self-love and self-care practices. And actually each day of the surgery retreat, we will be focusing on one of the 7 chakras specifically for rejuvenation, for rest, and those will correspond to the opening of the 7 seals. So it's really a retreat week to just get some rest, rejuvenation, self-love, and really recuperate ourselves from some of the more intense energy that we've been having. So I'm excited about that. So for those of you, I will be putting out more information on that retreat leading up to the 9th. But it is up on the website if you would like to RSVP and to join this month's surgery retreat. So that is up there on the site. Now the second big day that we have is going to be March 25th. And that is the first eclipse we have of the spring eclipse season. Okay, so it's going to be a full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, and this is a huge shedding of some Libra baggage. I think there's going to be a huge cleansing of this is going to be happening in Gene Key 18, which carries the shadow of judgment. So a huge wash, collectively speaking, of self-judgment, judgment upon others, and it's the Siddhi of perfection. And he talks about, Richard Rudd talks about how true perfection is really leading by example and requiring everyone and everything around you to also lead by example, but not in judgment, not saying that's good, that's bad, that's right, that's wrong. It's just, this is the level of divinity, of right action, of love that is required, and this is what we all need to be aspiring to. So that's going to be a really interesting eclipse. Again, I'll talk more about that later. But we will be hosting our angel chip activation within that as well. So the angel chip activation is going to begin on March 19th, which is going to be bringing in the equinox energies, which will peak on the 21st. And then the angel chip activation, which is also a week-long process, will end the day after that eclipse. So with this month's activation, again, I will also give more information about this as we get closer to that time, is going to be about activating the higher self blueprint. Now, we've been doing the activation of the dormant God DNA for, again, over a year. And we've unlocked a lot of things within the collective consciousness and within ourselves. Now is the time that we are actually activating our entire higher self blueprint to basically override the lower programming. And again, as we step into April, which is calling us all into a higher level of embodiment, higher roles, higher missions, etc., we are preparing to basically it's preparation for first contact. And as I shared in the first waivers report, the first level of first contact is making contact with your higher self. That's what first contact really is. And to step in to the higher self embodiment. Now, the next wave of first contact is making contact with the awakening masses. Because as we all know through the awakening process, when you begin it, you must make contact with those who are on that path as well. That's how we assist one another. That's how we do this in unity. There is no hierarchy in the ascension process. We might be at different levels, but we're all helping one another at those different levels. There's no hierarchy with this because Lord knows the first waivers, we struggle all the time. And sometimes we need to pass the baton to somebody else for a moment while we take a break, and then we get back in the game. But this is going to be preparing us for that full first contact, which is full contact with our higher self essence, stepping into that higher self embodiment in preparation to make that first contact with the awakening of the masses as they are preparing to begin that process, right? And then the official first contact is what we all know is inevitably coming, which is first contact with our galactic brothers and sisters, with the Divine Mother and Father. Because Earth is the final planet to return to the galactic society, to be welcomed back into the oneness that the rest of creation shares. And so that first contact will come. But this is what the event is. I know we talk a lot about, there's a lot of theories about what the event is, about what decloaking is, about what first contact is. I will say this year, and this is why, they came through with this month being the month of training, is we are preparing for first contact, but we must move in those levels. The true first contact, as I said, starts by meeting your higher self. Now, the true decloaking has to first start with us. The true decloaking is decloaking your true self to the world, is saying, this is who I am, fully, wholly, unauthentically, and I'm not going to pretend to be anything else, okay? The event is when enough of us make that first contact. That is what we are preparing to do, and I believe April is going to be a huge month to do that. Okay, so big energies this month, exciting energies. We're doing things a little bit differently, right? As I said, we are moving into training of how to navigate some new stuff. We are trying new things. We are doing things in a different way. So that's why this month I am going to be doing things a little bit differently. We're going to be doing the etheric surgery retreat instead of the intensity of the surgeries we have been doing. The angel chip will, of course, be always activating each participant's individual dormant codes, but this is also going to be activating the entire higher self blueprint. It is the preparation for first contact. Now, I also am guided to be hosting a planetary Ascension Conference on March 21st, the spring equinox. I do not have all of the information yet because I'm actively just asking for that information to come through for me to share, but they did, the Galactic's mom have asked me to do that. So I will be hosting that conference. It is essentially going to be an update on the current Ascension timeline. Now, timelines change, okay? So we're not going to get stuck on dates. We're not going to get attached to time periods, but I'm going to cover basically where we are currently in the Ascension process, currently the Ascension events that are going to be coming this year. Again, there's no attachment to date or time. This is just energetic milestones. And then I will also be discussing what the Galactics are saying is the calls to action. These are the roles that are going to need to be filled by the ground crew teams, which are all of us, all of you. And again, different roles, different levels. There's a place for everybody. But they have started to bring through to me the various roles that are needed to be filled by the ground teams come April. So I will be sharing those as well. And then in April, we'll probably also be doing some training seminars on some of those roles. So I will update you guys closer to the equinox about that Ascension Conference. It will be free and open to all. And will be recorded, but you need to RSVP for it, and then it'll get sent out to you whether you can attend live or view the recording. So I will get more information out around that time, and also the sign up for that as well. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there in terms of what we're moving into, and for those who really feel called to participate and to take on these new roles, then I'm welcome you all to join me there. And we, of course, will be having our monthly Unity Consciousness radio parties. These have been great because it's just everybody on the same wavelength, listening to the 5D radio, pushing joy, relaxing, being in the present moment of now. Music is such a tool. Music has codes, it carries vibrations, and all of us just kind of being in unity in that space, listening to the music, pushing out joy. It's gonna be great. We've been doing this since last month. So we'll have 3 radio parties this month. The first will be on the 3-3 portal. So this Sunday, all day, all night, 24/7. The next will be on the new moon in Pisces, which will be March 10th. And the third will be the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, which will be March 25th. So you can join us for those. And also thank you to everybody who has been participating in our weekly Unity Consciousness project. This has been going absolutely amazing. Every Saturday we post, and if you guys are in our Telegram channels, I post it there. I also post it as a blog on the site if you want to check those on Saturdays, for a global unity intention that we put out all together on Sundays, because Sundays being the days of the sun has been helping us tremendously to activate these intents, to bring them into manifestation. And the amount of people who have been participating with this, thank you all so much. We've only been doing it for a month. We did it all of February. And man, between the solar flares that have been popping off like no other to global events, we are seeing over and over again that us coming together in unity, doing this work together, supporting each other, connecting with each other, cheering each other on, it is making a difference. It's not only making a difference, but we are taking leaps and bounds in this ascension process. So thank you to everybody who has been participating with those. So happy March, everybody. Very excited for this month. I will put out more updates throughout the month on both the etheric surgery retreat, the angel chip activation, and of course, the Planetary Ascension Conference. So happy March. I love you all, and I'll see you next month.